Hey guys, welcome back to World of Warships. Today we're taking a look at the new Pan-American battleship Valparaiso. Apologies for the pronunciation, but this might be the most fun that I've ever had in World of Warships. This ship is absolutely insane. You are able to full send push into people and not die, even in the passive meta that we have these days. This is a tier 9 battleship with 7 up to even 8 super heals here. They heal just over 20%. And you might be thinking, okay, super heal, sure, but you gotta wait for the cooldown, right? Surely you gotta wait for the cooldown. Well, that's our F key here. This ship has an F key that reduces your consumable reload by 95%. And how do you activate it? You need secondary hits or a kill. A kill will instantly give you this F key, and every secondary hit gives you 8%. So that's how we're able to brawl and super heal our way to victory. You just do not die. There are weaknesses to this ship, okay? But that is the main gimmick you're gonna see on display here. How can you get it though? Well, it's only going to be available for gambling, of course, or Admiral Pack. So for tier 9, that comes out to 36,950 doubloons. Apparently it's also available for cash as well for an Admiral Pack, which means it's going to be very expensive, of course. These tier 9s go for a lot of money when they have to bundle them with a bunch of useless stuff that you don't really want if you just want the ship. Pushing in, we get our F key, and oh look, we get a super heal again. So you get 8 total if you do take the 3-point skill on 2 million potential damage. That'll give you another heal. So 8 super heals of just over 20k HP each. That's a lot of HP, 160k there. Plus another 75 from just our ship's base health. It looks a lot like a Vanguard, yeah, and it shares some of its characteristics. A little bit buffed up armor. You have 40mm upper belt, 40mm deck armor, allowing you to bounce some incoming fire as well as shatter some shells. But more importantly, you do have an exposed vulnerable Citadel. There is no spaced armor here either. There's no angle here like we see on the Pan American Tech Tree battleship line. So if you're caught broadside, you are going to take a ton of damage. The other thing is this main battery forces you to go broadside. Your firing angles are 43 degrees forward and 40 degrees backwards, which is really bad. It does have absurdly good acceleration, maneuverability, rudder shift to make up for that. And you can see how I can just angle in rather quickly, even when this Kearsarge is ready to shoot me. Now, if the secondaries, as you can see, are getting a lot of hits. If they didn't get very many hits, this would be rather useless gimmick, wouldn't it? Well, they have good accuracy. They have the baked-in accuracy of Ohio, Schlieffen line, those kinds of ships. And they're essentially Ohio turrets on these secondaries here. So they don't have a ton of pen. They only pen 21mm, but they have a 9% fire chance. And they can reach out to 12 kilometers with the full build here. So you're getting a lot of fires, but the main gimmick here that I'm going for with a full secondary build is to full push in like this early game and try and survive. That was my objective. And I made it work a fair few times. I died as well, but we made it work. Now, we're down to 3 super heals remaining, 2.7 million potential damage, and we're gonna essentially double our potential damage yet before this game is over. You notice the enemy team has essentially no presence on the C cap here, and that's because they're basically all here. And we're just tanking everything. It's a little bit absurd, okay? I'm having fun, I'm laughing, I'm having a wonderful time here just at how crazy fun this is for me personally. Balance-wise, I'm not so sure. When played well, when brawled well, it's almost impossible to kill this ship before it gets use of all its super heals. We're getting outflanked by a Jean Bart and a Lepanto right now, getting dropped by D7 Provincian, Yarsfeld, as well as an Indomitable. We should not survive this, as well as a Navarin secondarying us up front, which has some of the better secondaries at tier 9. It lights many more fires than most. Navarin, though, does have a vulnerable Citadel. And here's another weak point of this ship, is your main guns are only 381mm. You get 8 of them, and their pen is fine, but it's Battleship Dispersion 1.8 Sigma. so they're not the most consistent. I'm also running the secondary build, which isn't helping our consistency much at all either. But what they do have is slightly improved pen angles. So people have to angle a little bit more to you. A standard ship has pen angles from 45 to 60 degrees. This ship has 50 to 65 degrees. So it's a 5-degree buff to the pen angles here, which is helping us, I think, on this Navarin to take him out. Notice how we're just out of heals at this point. We've used 8 super heals. It's ridiculous. It's so funny. This ship will take damage. The secondaries are nowhere near as powerful as things like Los Andes, the main line, but it just survives. You don't have to worry too much about fires either. Notice I don't have fire prevention, and yet we didn't have to worry that much about fires because, again, the cooldown here is so extreme. We are going to go down, though, in this one, but not before we get 5.5 million potential damage. We also did 76,000 spotting damage for our team just by being a damage sponge. So your offensive capability is much lower than that of the mainline tech tree of the Pan American battleships. But your survivability is actually quite a lot higher, and it still retains that built-in acceleration and rudder shift that supposedly got nerfed this update. I haven't tested it yet, but supposedly they're a little bit sluggish, a little bit less drifty. We'll see if that's actually true or not. I suspect they still drift around pretty good, the tech tree line. But for now, this one has pretty amazing maneuverability. That rudder shift, by the way, base of 9.7 seconds, which we can buff up further. Nearly 200k out of this one, 377 secondary hits. Pretty good match to start things off, don't you think? Those secondaries did nearly 50k raw damage and then another 33k from fires. So a lot of secondary damage, yes, but nowhere near as much as what the Los Andes or the mainline would have done. Although more likely, they would have died a lot sooner, let's be honest. That level of survivability is absolutely crazy. A big problem with super heals often is that you run out of healing, and notice we didn't. That's because this ship has the highest repair percentage in the entire game. Typically, when you're repairing damage done to your ship, fires and floods, 100% repairable. Pen damage, though, is usually 50% repairable. Citadel damage, usually 10% repairable. This ship has 85% pen damage repair. That's why it never runs out. Also, Citadel damage, we get 33% repair, so it still stings. But you can still heal a little bit of it. The AP, though, pretty good into light cruisers. As we know, light cruisers obviously needed more counters. I mean, G-Nan's pretty busted, so I don't feel that bad, but still, that is crazy. The AP does have slightly shorter fuses, too, on top of its slightly buffed up pen angles. So that is useful against those cruisers. A little bit less good against the battleships. 380s also do lack some overmatch, although light cruisers still get overmatched, of course. But 380s, 27 mil armor starts to bounce them. A lot of that at this tier. Things like Blucher, for example. Looking at that, kind of lamenting its armor scheme there being all 27. Well, if you run into one of these, you get to bounce everything, or auto bounce everything if you're angled properly. Of course, when we get this map, we have to full send the Thunderdome, and we managed to make it in, just barely. Got fortunate that Victoria burst at the wrong time, and Kansas was shooting HE, I think. Not so sure about that, but we do make it through into this wonderful, fun little cap here. And hopefully they're going to push us. At this point, we're probably going to get focused by the carrier, I would have to guess. And our AA is quite bad. So that'll be the downside. You get to push in, you get to tank, you get to deal a lot of damage in return while taking a ton and healing through it. But carriers will be a big problem for this ship. Although the maneuverability should help you out quite a lot. This ship also gets pretty standard ASWs. No Hydro, though, so Torps are a bit more of a threat. But thanks to this maneuverability, I mean, it's going to be very difficult to Torp one of these things. It can maneuver better than a lot of cruisers can, to be honest with you. The acceleration, the rudder shift a lot of the time. This game was pretty early on in my play session with this ship, so you're going to notice me not actually optimally using this F key and my healing here, as well as maybe not firing in the best spots on the battleship that I'm about to shoot at. But it's still a lot of DPM on these secondaries, dealing a ton of damage to that Fletcher incredibly quickly. Haven't talked about it yet too much, but the secondary DPM, the hitting DPM, that's what we always talk about here. 10 kilometers here, this is 43,421 secondary hitting DPM, which puts it 4th best as far as tier 9 battleships go. If we include cruisers, suddenly becomes 5th best because Michelangelo has 101,000. But that is a little bit offset by cruisers not having any secondary buffing skills. This doesn't take that into account, so it's not fully accurate there, where we can buff up the accuracy quite a bit more. And look at how quickly we can get back to this F key is the thing too. Turpits here, I mean, we're giving so much broadside. I should be taking Citadels, and I think I do there, given how little I can heal. And almost dying, and F key, I should be healing. I don't know why I'm not. There we go, the heal. And then look at the F key charge, it instantly charges. So now we wait for our heal to be done, and then click F key yet again, which gets us back to our damage control again. So we don't care about any of the fires. We're healing again. Our F key comes back again. It's stupid, it's ridiculous. This is insane. I don't understand. Like, I mean, imagine playing an Iowa in 2025 World of Warships when these kind of gimmicks exist. Like, it's crazy. We're healing through torpedo damage. We're brawling a Turpits and eating torps from the carrier, and we're just healing through it. It's an absolutely fun, hilarious battleship to play. I was smiling, I was laughing the entire time I was playing this ship. It was crazy. It was a really good time. What's it like to play against, though? Obviously, the monetization is an issue. Playing it's fun, but what's it like to play against? That I don't know. Yes, the secondaries do have pretty good DPM. It's slightly lower than Ohio, just because we're missing a turret, and also the firing angles on the secondaries are quite bad, too. That is an entire downside here. We get 3 of the 4 turrets per side at 21 degrees, which is very good. But to get all 4, at least that's forward, to get all 4, you need to give 38 degrees. And then towards the stern, when you're kiting, it's 42 degrees to get everything, and 35 degrees to get 3. It's okay, but if it were limited in its maneuverability, if it didn't have this built-in acceleration and insane rudder shift, that would be a legitimate downside. That would be a legitimate downside. But given how fast you're able to turn in and out and kind of drift around incoming fire, I wasn't angled very well to that Njord there, and we still didn't take much for Citadel damage. I don't know. I don't know why battleships need to float around the battlefield like they're a destroyer or a light cruiser in their maneuverability. It's a little bit of extreme. I love this gimmick. I love how tanky it is. It's hilarious to play, but I don't think it needs this absurd maneuverability, much like the mainline battleships. And of course, I'm running Lisboa here, so you're seeing the full build running here and getting our F key back sooner. A little bit of speed there extra with Lisboa too, and we get 20% progress towards our combat instructions with him after our second one with a little bit of speed there. And then on enough secondary hits we get secondary plus main gun hits, we get buffs to our DPM, main gun and secondary as well. He's an incredible commander, and unfortunately I have no idea when he's coming back. It was asked recently, and no information, so FOMO, I guess. Yeah, some of the events and monetization here are a big issue. This one in particular, it's these drama containers, nested containers. There's 3 different levels of container, and the drop rates are very, very hidden. It's hard to even calculate the odds of getting this ship from those containers. As always, I would recommend not gambling. The crappy part about that is, if you want this ship and you're not wanting to gamble, it's going to be really expensive, much like Gonzaga was really expensive. Admiral packs for tier 9s put them up to the tier 10 price. So 35k doubloons, 37k doubloons really. And then it's over $150 Canadian, at least. It's so expensive. It's a very unique playstyle though, and I had a lot of fun with it. I'm very conflicted on what to say here, because this is maybe the most fun ship I've played in a very long time. This is like giving me the ability to do exactly what I want to, which is push in and force these people that camp the back of the map to brawl it out and actually play the game. It's really fun. Typically, when I do this, and when I get tired of the campy playstyle and I just full send like this, typically I die very quickly because you're at such a disadvantage pushing in. And it feels bad because, well, I die early and I kind of wasted my game. Didn't do well for my team, obviously, either. But also, I kind of am rewarding these people for camping the back of the map, too, when I push in like that, which feels kind of bad, too, in a weird way. But with this one, I can go punish them for it. Which maybe means it's a little too strong. Maneuverability. That said, I'm pretty good at brawling, I would say. I've gotten pretty good at it over the years in these battleships, so maybe we'll see people make more mistakes in this thing and die a lot quicker, trying to get into those brawls. This one, unlike the main line of the Pan American battleships, does have a vulnerable Citadel. We'll look at it after the battle. It does have that weak point. It does have poor firing angles. It does have poor firing angles on the secondaries. The secondaries don't full pen you everywhere. They do light quite a number of fires, but they don't full pen you everywhere. So there are downsides here. They don't have as much armor, but in the right hands, this is an insanely powerful gimmick, as we've seen. That, of course, can be said for a lot of ships in this game. If you're good at the game, you can make a lot of different ships work. This one has the tools to essentially stay alive until you've burned through every single heal at close range, which is a ton of healing. To over 200k in HP that is very easily accessible at those closer ranges when you're playing well. The guns are on the weak side for tier 9. The secondaries don't have as much pen. Your Citadel is very vulnerable. I mean, I don't know. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments down below. How busted overpowered this thing is going to be. I don't know. I wonder if it'll be better to play against this ship. This is close to what I was hoping for out of the Libertad line. Not the maneuverability, obviously. That needs to be toned back down to, you know, Montana levels, right? Actually let us hit the ships when they're at close range. But the vulnerable broadside, I think that's a big deal. It forces you to really consider your positioning much more so, where the Libertad line, this thing too, with its maneuverability, and it doesn't have to worry so much about being caught out broadside, being caught in a crossfire. It's the maneuverability is a big portion of it. And if this one didn't have this maneuverability, I think it'd be pretty extreme, but a lot more fair, I guess I would say. I'm having a blast, though. You're going to see this ship a ton on the channel, by the way. I'll try and not do it too many videos on this one all at once. Kind of pace myself a little bit, but you better believe this is going to be one of my most played ships over the next while. NC can't quite land the shots into our Citadel there. Good old slow down, turn out. And again, this maneuverability lets me speed juke, and the rudder's so quick. It's like a cruiser rudder on this thing. It's too much. Lighting fires, rotating fires between NC and GK. We're brawling a GK who does have 32 mil pen secondaries, but our secondaries are going to hit him in the superstructure because they have more arc, and when he's pushing in especially, they will hit the superstructure. So we're going to do some good damage as well as light a lot of fires. Broadside NC, this is maybe where the downside of our AP is seen. The guns aren't that good into those situations. 10k is still good damage, but a broadside North Carolina, I think you can understand where I would be expecting a little bit more. We're already on 150k though, so that's still a very good game. This one a little more slow paced. I pushed but didn't full push spawn. I was smart. I listened to the logical side of my brain. I didn't just unga bunga it into spawn and then complain about getting torped out or something like that. It is important to note this ship will die to enough focus fire, or if you get, caught in crossfires is really the main one. Torps plus crossfires, that's the main way to die in this one for me. But it's when you're in secondary range, it is hard to die. It is really, really tanky, and I found it very, very fun. But you had to keep the secondaries going, right? That's the only way to keep this F key rotation of your consumables going. Otherwise, the consumable reload is long. It's just a standard reload of 80 seconds on both of them. It's still a ton of healing. Still a 20k heal every 80 seconds, but you gotta use this F key. You gotta make use of these secondary hits to actually get through them quick enough to see the survivability. So if you're locked out, if you're locked into longer range combat, if you're going to play the campier role, I think this is going to be a very bad Battleship, actually. I think it's going to perform worse than almost any other Battleship. You really have to make use of this gimmick. And what a powerful gimmick, too, to avoid fire damage completely. Not only does the super healing give you the ability to heal through it, this F key gives you the same reload on your heal as well as your damage control. So if I'm in range to secondary people, I am one fire damage conning every time, or I should be. I don't know if I necessarily did that in every match. Took a little bit of adjusting to get used to this level of consumable reload. Maybe that would be an interesting thing too. Like, maybe don't give us the damage control back as quickly. I don't know. I don't know. It's really fun. Is it toxic to play against? I'm not sure. I don't know. I'll be very interested to play against it and to hear what you guys think. I loved it though. I can't wait to play it again, to be honest with you. This is so much fun. 220 in this one, over 3 million potential damage, and in the right hands, if you know how to brawl, if you know how to position, and obviously the maneuverability helping us out a ton, it's going to survive a long time. My hope is that it does actually get punished when you make mistakes, and I think it will. I think it will, given the armor that we're about to see. But just looking at this game in particular, 411 secondary hits here. Top score as well, helping our teammates stay alive by taking a lot of the focus fire too, probably. Over 100k from secondaries and fires combined. Haven't mentioned it yet, but AP only is your ammo type. No SAP, no HE is an option. So relatively low caliber, low damage AP with short fuse, admittedly, and slightly improved pen angles is your only option here. So a little bit lower power there. The real strength is your ability to push in and survive and get yourself at close range and brawl it out with people. And I'm actually realizing I totally forgot to talk about the Concealment, which is also a strength of this ship, allowing you to get within secondary range a lot easier here. So with the 12 kilometer secondary range that the best tier 9 battleships can get, 12.6 detect is really good. It's not quite Ruprecht level, but 12.6 detect is incredible. That is a 7.8 second rudder when you take rudder mod. It did not need this maneuverability or acceleration, in my opinion. It would be more vulnerable to damage in that case. The armor is rather powerful, I would say, but you know, 32, 40, there's kind of icebreaker here to help a bit if there's 32 mil overmatch, because your Citadel is just a bit above water here. Not much. That's the other thing, is it definitely could be a bit more above water. It is above water though, so it should take damage. Maybe that's waterline. Maybe I'm coping. Nah, that's above water. It's so minor though that maybe it is still going to be difficult to hit. Maybe I overstated the vulnerability of the broadside here, but you do have to go broadside to shoot your guns. The firing angles there on these guns, as well as the secondary, is really not great. So to get the full power, you do have to expose that broadside. It's quite a large ship too, I think. It should take quite a few hits. Large superstructure. Although the healing, you get back so much HP so quickly. But you should be able to do quite good damage to it at longer range. But it heals through it, right? It heals through it. I mean, the AA, maybe... I mean, AA is not really that good. The 88 here is deceiving, in my opinion. As for the build I was running, I quite literally went full secondary. The better build might be actually to go towards full gun, or guns with a bit of secondaries like they're suggesting. Don't know why they're suggesting damage control system with this F key, but yeah, the steering gears, especially once I swapped over to it, is wild, the maneuverability here. And then on the commander, I went for secondary range, secondary accuracy to, at longer range, start charging this F key up sooner. And then, of course, we're going for the 7th heal here and the 8th heal on 2 million potential damage, which wasn't particularly hard to do with a full send push like that. Also going Concealment and Brisk to help me get within secondary range quicker and safer. That's the Brisk, a lot quicker to the battle, as well as Concealment there. 12.6, very nice. Preventive maintenance was just to keep my secondaries alive, was the idea. And they were reasonably tanky. Don't really need emergency repair specialist because, again, this F key is crazy. I had fun, man. I had so much fun. This is a ship catered specifically to me, I think. So thank you, Wargaming. But is this the ship specifically for PQ that is the very frustrating ship to fight, like maybe Barbiano is? I don't know. I don't know how toxic this one will be to fight against. We'll see. But for now, this thing was so fun to play. I can't wait to play it again. Sucks that the monetization is so bad, man. Here I am gushing over it in this video, and it's expensive, or it's for insane gambling. Loot box gambling containers on loot box gambling containers on loot box. It's 3 layers deep. It's crazy. It's crazy. But again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.